Welcome back to the Mega Meeple, the show all about gamers and the games that bring them together. I'm your host, Tom, and I want to thank you for hitting that download button. Now, if you like what you hear, please be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. And while you're there, leave us some kind words and put out some of that 5-star loving, okay? We'd really appreciate that. And I promise I'll call you in the morning. Now, if you have any ideas or suggestions of what you want to hear about, or maybe a topic, a discussion about the board games, now you can contact us through our website. It's www.themegameeple.com, and go to our social media page. All the links to our pages like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. You know all the ones. Okay, it can be found there at our social media page. And now you can also hear the podcast on our YouTube channel, as well as some unboxing videos, as boring as they are, but evidently the unboxing videos is a thing, so I do them, oh well. And you can also see some reviews of games and gaming accessories, and the link to that is also on our social media page on the website. Welcome back to the Mega Meeple. This is episode 11. And thank you again for listening and downloading the podcast and subscribing and all that stuff. Appreciate it very much. Well, what am I doing this week? Actually, at the time you're probably listening to this, I am busy packing up boxes, getting ready to move. And that means a lot of my games and stuff like that is going to be packed away for about at least a week or so until we're able to get settled into the new place. So, but I have kept a few games out and open as we have something to do and play and bide the time while we're waiting for the movers to come. Got numerous game reviews and previews coming up that's in the works. Right now, just recently received 2 games from IDW. One was called Perlock Homes, and the other one is King of the Creepies. So we're going to see about having the creator of King of the Creepies on interview hopefully soon. But these games are available at your local store. They are available to the public. So, but I'm going to be doing some reviews and videos, so check that out on our website, and also make sure you go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to that, and you'll be notified when that review goes up of those 2 games. But they look, both of them look pretty cool. I'm excited to play them and let you guys see them as well. I also received a card game from somebody that's going to be, they're doing a Kickstarter here very shortly, and just basically to upgrade the components and just get a better quality cards out there. So that's going to be going to Kickstarter soon, but I will have a sort of a preview up on that. It's basically, it's to help families teach their children math. And actually, I know quite a few adults that need to learn some math as well. So that it's a card game for both adults and children. I also have 2 other games that is coming my way in the next few weeks. Both of them are upcoming Kickstarters. That's going to be launching sometime in the next, I'd say, month or 2. So look for a preview video of that as well. Another cool thing that happened this past week is Chip Theory Games. For those of you, I may mention of Too Many Bones, but for those of you who have gotten the first printing of Too Many Bones, either part of the Kickstarter or the pre-order, they now have updated or upgraded packs that are available on their website. You know, since the first printing They have updated the reference sheets. They've updated the rule book. And they have PDFs on their website that you could download and print out for yourself. But if you're one of these purists that like to have all your components match the quality of the initial print, the initial core box, they have an upgrade pack that is available where you're able to upgrade the components and the reference sheets and the rule book and everything to match the second printing. And they also now have available on their website these casino-style chip holders that you could get to hold all your chips. Now, the upgrade kit is like $8, and the chip holder is like $4. So for less than $15, you could upgrade your first printing Too Many Bones to match the upgrade, the updated, revised version. And these things will be going out at the same time that the second printing of Too Many Bones will be shipped out, which is about mid to late August. And another reason why I want to bring this up is they just overwhelmingly successfully, had a Kickstarter for Trip Lock, and they announced shortly thereafter that their next Kickstarter is going to be a standalone expansion to Too Many Bones. And the main reason why I want to bring this up is they gave a little teaser on the art, some new gear locks, some new tyrants and stuff like that. But they also said that the Kickstarter will go live on October 17th. Now, this is the reason why I find this exciting and very useful is not many people are able to budget out past their next paycheck, especially when you're talking about a Kickstarter comes up that you could justify, sending sometimes a few $100s of expendable income to back a project, which you may not see for another year or so. And I touched a little bit about that on the last episode. But here's the cool thing. They've announced that this Too Many Bones, I think it's called Undertow, is the Kickstarter is going live October 17th. Now, right now it's about the middle of July. So July, August, September, October. You have about 3 months. So you literally have, if you get paid bi-weekly, you have 6 paychecks to be able to put aside maybe $20, $25. So by the time October 17th comes around, you will have the money set aside to be able to get this standalone expansion for Too Many Bones, and it's not going to be that hard of a hit in your wallet. So I really dig when these companies know ahead of time, at least a good 2 or 3 months ahead of time, when their Kickstarter is going to go live, and they could give us the heads up rather than dropping a ball on us at the time when it goes live, and it's only live for maybe 30 days. And like I said, not many people are able to have the resources and the funds to be able to budget in less than a month. Because usually, if you get paid on Friday, by that following Monday, you're broke again. So yeah, definitely, if you like Too Many Bones, and again, I'll put a link to their store on the show notes for this episode. But yeah, go to Chip Theory Games website to your store, and you'll be able to get the upgrade kit for the first printing. And also, if you want, you get a casino-style chip holder. And again, those are going out during, at the same time, the second printing of Too Many Bones is being shipped out. Well, this past week, I had to do something that I never thought I would actually do. And that is, I started selling one of my games. And it's the first game that I ever had to actually sell or get rid of. And sadly enough, I'm talking about the Star Wars Destiny CCG, the collectible card and dice game. And I have a pretty good collection. I mean, I have one complete set of the Awakening set, And I have about, I'd say, maybe half of the Spirit of Rebellion, but it's usually it's the half that's the commons and the cards that pretty much are very readily available. And I have a few, maybe 2 or 3, rares or legendaries. But the thing is, it's that game is one of those games. Number one, that I just haven't been able to play. Like God, at least 2 months I haven't been able to play it at all. And two, just seeing by way of the schedule and the format that Fantasy Flight Games is releasing these things, that they're only printing so many things, so many sets, and after maybe like a certain number of sets that are printed, that they are no longer printing them, and those are going to be, at least on the secondhand market, those things are going to go sky high as far as price. And it seems like every time that the set or a new supply of cards or booster boxes and stuff like that come out, they're usually snatched up by the people who already have sets, and they already have all the cards that they need. And actually, I'm not sure why they even bother buying the boosters or the sets or anything like that if they already have all the cards that they need of the set. But it was Star Wars CCG Destiny is the first collectible card game format that I've actually gotten involved with and played and bought. But as I was thinking, it was like, what, I really, number one, I haven't been able to play it in a long time. Number two, I really seriously doubt if I'm going to be able to keep up with the schedule and the limited amount of resources and cards and product that's going to be released. And it's only going to be released at certain times of the year. I'm like, yeah, I really don't think I'm going to be able to keep up with all that stuff. So I took my collection out and started taking photos. And it was one of those things where, it's like when you're a young kid and you got a crush on this girl and you want to call her up. The first thing you do, you pick up the phone and then it's like you hang it up. And then you pick up the phone again and then maybe you dial the first 2 digits of her phone number and then you hang up. It's like it's this stop and go, yes, no type of thing. It's like, do I really want to do this? No, I don't want to. But maybe I should. But, no, I'll wait later. It was sort of like that stop and go type of decision. I kept going back and forth. I'd get my set out, get ready to take some photos to put on eBay. It's like, no, I'm not going to sell it. I pack it back up and put it back on the shelf. Maybe like a day or 2 later, it's like, yeah, I really need to get rid of that and get it out off the shelf again, out on the table, and you find that as you're going through your cards and your dice and everything, it's like, do I really want to sell this? Do I really want to let go of this? I might want to play it later, maybe. So I finally I think I just picked out maybe a half a dozen cards, and I thought, well, I'll put these up on eBay and see what happens. And I was kind of half hoping that it wouldn't sell, nobody would buy it, because I'm thinking, everybody already has their sets and dice and cards and stuff that nobody would want it, or if they would want it, they wouldn't want the price I was asking for it. And I wasn't gouging anything, gouging people. I was asking for a price that was fair for the market and the demand. So anyway, I put it up on eBay, and I'm kind of hoping that it doesn't sell. But of course, one of them, my Luke Skywalker, sold like within 3 hours. So at that point, it was like, okay, well, all right. I pulled the trigger. I sold my first card. Now I got to go all in and sell all of them. It's like one of those things where, do you want to dip your toe into the pool just a little bit, or do you just want to run off the deep end and do a belly flop right into the water and just go all out? So it's like, okay, well, now that I sold my first card, all right, I'll sell the whole set. So if anybody's looking for some cards, they're really well taken care of, hardly played. I kept them in sleeve the whole time. So look that up on eBay. So or contact me through the website and make an offer. But yeah, that was a hard decision to make. And the more I thought about it, it was like, yeah, it really is for the best, because I was never into Magic. I was never into the whole CCG stuff. And Star Wars Destiny was the very first CCG I ever got involved with. And now I realize why I never got into CCGs to begin with. I was never, like I said, I was never into Magic. I was never into any of the other ones. The Star Wars Destiny was the very first, and as it is only the first, last, and only collectible card game that I've played and tried. So at least I know that I tried it, and I found that I enjoy the game. I love the game. I just don't like the idea of trying to keep up with the demand and keeping up with the supply and keeping my sets current when there's going to be just limited production and production only at certain times of the year. So yeah, I tried it and I liked it, but the whole logistics of having a collectible card game and just keeping up with it is just not for me. Well, last week we had our first session with our Pathfinder RPG group playing the Emerald Spire. We started that campaign, and like I said in previous episodes, I did record our session. Turned out to be like 4 hours. So I think if I do release this as like a supplement podcast in addition to these podcasts, it will be like, in bits and pieces, like a half hour, an hour, or whatever. Depends on what the time is when I edit it down. But I think what I'm going to do is in this episode here. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you right now a little snippet, a sneak peek, as it were, of our gaming group playing or attempting to play Pathfinder.
Naive in town and going, you're going on an adventure, and then you get in the dungeon, and you go, okay, go on in and see what's in there. And if you hear screaming, you don't open the door. Very simple. Very evil, but very simple.
So when we see people and hear stories of people melting, saying only the uninitiated may enter.
Untried.
I'm going to walk in and I'll probably just melt.
Oh, you're that badass.
Someone is full of themselves.
Puff, puff, pass.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm just going to die right there at the threshold. Shit.
Play or what?
But the fact that she's proud of it is what makes it fun.
Yes.
No, it makes it sad.
Then why go?
Then why go? Why not?
Because you'll melt at the
Because you'll melt at the door. That's totally kind of like suicide.
You're dying a horrible...
Nothing
death.
has killed me so far.
How many things have you tried?
A lot.
Define a lot, because I have a feeling it's not.
Yeah.
Okay,
Air doesn't count.
do you know where I come from?
Water doesn't also count unless you're drowning. Do I know where you come from?
That one counts
Well,
for me.
when a male of your species and a female of your species.
Well, there you have it. So if you... It's a fun group we got. And so if you're wanting to hear an additional podcast with stuff like that, yeah, just give me a thumbs up, contact me, email me, whatever. Let me know what you think, and I'll see about putting those episodes out, and just see how it goes. Hi, welcome back to the Mega Meeple, and our guest this episode is from Escape Velocity Games, based out of Baltimore, Maryland. It's Stephen Cole. And you have a game that just successfully funded on Kickstarter called Coin and Crown. So how you doing, Stephen?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on the show.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Glad that you're available and take the time to come on. And now tell us a little bit about how Escape Velocity Games came to be.
Sure. So I'm the owner for Escape Velocity Games, and it came about a few years ago. Started with just one little game that I self-published, and the goal was always to publish both my games and others' games. So pretty quickly I found a couple other games to work on. Notably, I have a couple games that just got released and are actually going to be in stores in the next couple weeks here. One is Iliad, based of course on the Iliad by Homer, and the other one is Les Miserables, based on the novel and play, musical by Victor Hugo. And then the latest one that's on Kickstarter now is called Coin and Crowns, and that's by Stephen Aramini and Janice Baker. Stephen's a designer of many games, and I feel like he owns Kickstarter this year. He's had, I think, 4 different games on Kickstarter, 2 or 3 at the same time. So he's turned into a very prolific designer, and I played his game a couple years ago and really loved it. And so we've been working on developing it since then, and we're really proud to have it up there now and fund it and working on the stretch goals.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent. Yeah, it's just mentioning just to date this episode. It's a successful Kickstarter, and the current Kickstarter ends on July 18th. So if you're listening to this before the 18th, you still have some time to get on there. And if not, we'll discuss how you could get a hold of that game even after the Kickstarter. So, tell us a little bit about Coin and Crown. It's from my understanding, it's sort of like a deck builder, but without decks, you're building resources from inside the bag.
Yeah, it's really clever. So it's a bag builder, which maybe isn't quite a household term yet, but it'll get there.
That's a new dynamic now. Yeah,
that's right. But it's similar if you've played something like Dominion, where you've got the deck of cards that you're upgrading over time, and in this case, you've got a bag of coins. And you start off with a certain mix of coins, and over the course of the game, you can improve that set of coins, and you're drawing random coins from the bag each turn, and those are the coins you're going to use that turn to go ahead and take your actions. So there's bronze, silver, and gold, and each bronze, you can put 3 of those together to make a silver, 3 silver make a gold. And then there's a tableau of cards that you can, or a market of cards that you can buy from, and there are bronze cards, silver cards, and gold cards. So in order to get the best cards, the gold ones, you need to upgrade your money supply throughout the game. And that's how you build you build up your lands and your empire, and you're building, mines and forests and pastures, and you're building cities, and you're upgrading from villages to towns, and, towns to cities, and it's a really cool experience. And so you need certain cards in order to do certain upgrades, and they're labeled on the cards themselves. But the coins that are coming out of your bag are really regulating which cards you can buy. And the cards you're buying are the ones that you want in order to upgrade your cities. And the cities are, of course, the primary source of victory points. That's how you win the game.
And it's a 2 to 4 player?
2 to 4 player for now, and we're looking at adding a solo mode. The stretch goal for the solo mode is just unlocked, and that'll be a print and play at this point, but a future stretch goal will feature having the solo mode included in the box. And I'm anticipating we will hit that one. So if you're listening to us later, check it out. But in the short run, I am hopeful that it will fund to that level.
Yeah, that'll be neat. It's one of those things that is definitely a market for, particularly with solo gamers. That it's encouraging that the solo aspect is still part of the design of the game, rather than just something that a designer kind of slaps on a game and says, "Oh, okay, well let's just
or relies to somebody on BGG to come up with some kind of solo variant.
Yeah, there's been surprising support for it. So the designer originally had developed the game as a 2-player game, and when I played, I said, this is great, but it needs to be able to expand to, say, 3 or 4 players to, broaden the base. So we worked on that, and I really like the way it turned out. I think it's, actually better now than it was as a 2-player game. Even a 2-player game is better now that it's been, developed further. But the solo mode was definitely always sort of in the back of his mind, and we started developing that as soon as, we really felt that the 2 to 4 player game was solid. And it was like, all right, now let's develop a 1-player solo version around that. So that's been in development for quite some time now. So it's definitely not just something we tacked on with the Kickstarter. It was always, something that was there. It's still being, tested and tweaked at this point, but it should be, well tested by the time we actually go to print. It's been really cool to see that, though, and surprising, there has been a lot of support for that. Just so you know, the feedback I've been getting as I show the game, as I do the Kickstarter and the comments and stuff like that, that's something that people really were supportive of, was the solo mode. That's been cool to see.
That's good. That's excellent. Now, now the game, from what now I have not played the game. But I've seen some things written up about it and videos and so forth. And it looks like it's a pretty, for a game that has a lot of different ways to win and a lot of different strategies that you can embark on, that it plays pretty fast.
It does. So the 2-player game plays pretty quickly. You could probably do that in 30, 45 minutes. 4 players, you'll definitely eke up to the 60-minute mark, maybe even a little over with new players. But generally, after a couple plays, you'll be 30 to 60 minutes pretty consistently. But the game itself has definitely multiple paths to victory. There's the route you can go with soldiers. While there's no direct conflict in the game between the players, you're definitely competing over the same resources. And the soldiers represent your ability to conquer neutral kingdoms and neutral cities. And you can invest in a lot of troops, and you can send them out to conquer neutral lands. You will then get those, and they will become points for you. And if you invest heavily in troops, you can really rack in a lot of points that way. Another thing you can do is focus on some of the basic goods, whether it be the fields or pastures or forests, things of that nature, which you get a bunch of them, and you'll be able to upgrade your cities very quickly, and every turn be able to upgrade them and get to that city mark, and then that's where you see the biggest jump in points. Another strategy would be to focus on some of the gold cards that give you special abilities, drawing extra coins, or taking an extra turn, or refreshing a building that's already been used, things of that nature that really bring some flavor to the game and make it very different every time you play it. But when you're doing that, those cards aren't always going to be the same every game. And for those cards, it really changes the way the game really feels a lot. And in particular, that maybe you'll pick up one of those gold cards the first turn, and that really changes the way you play the rest of the game. And then sometimes you won't maybe get the one you're looking for to the last turn, and that will change the way you play as well. So the game's got a lot of replayability, and you're not really going to have the same strategy every time. And you really are going to be looking around and seeing what other people are doing and saying, all right, well, he's doing that or she's doing that, so I'm going to do this. And you're really playing against the other players, and it really helps with that feeling.
Okay. And then as you're playing, you're able to, coin build your what you have available to you in the bag, as far as what the possibilities are of drawing from the bag to, fund and help you strategize what route you want to take, or if you have to kind of rethink your approach.
Yep, as you go through the game and you build your bag of coins, what you're really doing is you're using those coins, but as you use them, you're putting them in a discard pile, which means those are the ones that can go back in your bag for future draws.
Okay.
So if you don't use the coin, then it doesn't go back in your bag. So if you really want to try to get just silver and gold into your bag, you draw the bronze out. You try to convert that at the Imperial Mint into silver, and then use the silver, which will then go back into your bag, rather than using the bronze. And so there's this constant choice: do I use the bronze because there's that field there that I really need to upgrade my city? But if I do that, then it's going to go back in my bag, and if it goes back in my bag, I might draw it, and I don't really want to. But if I don't, then I won't have that field. So you've got this constant tug back and forth of what should I do, and everything has multiple ramifications and costs throughout the game, and it's a really clever system that really helps you decide, well, what should I do here? And no decision's really a bad decision, but you're really choosing your strategy as you go.
That's really neat. How you kind of like almost like have to recycle what you draw out and try to make it turn into something good and get it back in your bag so you can use it again. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, and you can always dump your bronze if you want, because there's the overseas market where you basically are sending your money off to go, and it comes back as certain types of goods. You can get particular like one-time use of a field or one-time use of an ore mine or something like that, or you can donate your coins to the church. And if you do that, that's a majority at the end of the game. Whoever has the most money donated to the church gets the most points out of it, and then whoever doesn't, just they just get fewer points or no points. And that's kind of a way you can always just be like, all right, I've got this one bronze I don't really want to go back into my bag, and there's nothing I really want to buy that's out there, so you just kind of dump it into the overseas market or the church, your choice.
Okay. All right. Well, for anybody that, if it's past July 18th and you missed the Kickstarter, would it be like a late pledge or a pre-order that they could get the game if they missed out on Kickstarter?
Yeah, for all of our Kickstarters, we always do a pre-order. Typically, the pre-order is a little more pricey, or shipping is a little more, but so we try to give the discount, the most discount we can to the Kickstarter backers. But there will be a pre-order, and those will typically go out just after the backers' copies go out. So you'll get it, usually just after the backers, but still before retail. And we encourage you that if you didn't catch it, check it out. Been getting a lot of good reviews. Rado had really nice things to say about it, and that was really cool. And a lot of other reviewers have taken a look at it too, and we're waiting to see what they have to say. But the game will be available hopefully around December, and then more broadly early next year, or I should say early 2018.
Okay. Excellent. Well, how can people find out more about Escape Velocity Games and Coin and Crown?
Sure. The easiest way is to go to www.escapevelocitygames.com, and that's where you'll find out about Coin and Crown and all of our games. Also, they can track me on Twitter. You can follow me there. I'm at Steve on Games. There's an official company one too, but I don't really do much there. You're much more likely to find something out or hit me up for a question or a comment at my own personal Twitter handle. Then we have a Facebook page as well. It's Escape Velocity Games, and I'm at a lot of the local conventions in the East Coast of the U.S. I'm usually at things like Unpub and I went to Origins this year. I don't think I'll be at Gen Con this year, but I've been there in the past, and a lot of the East Coast ones. PAX Unplugged will have a booth, so stop by and say hi if you are there.
Okay, excellent. And we'll have the links to all those sites and so forth in the show notes for this episode. So, well, Stephen, thank you so much for coming on and telling us about the game, and congratulations on the successful Kickstarter.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate your time as well, and thanks for having me on the show.
So, yeah, go check that out. That's Coin and Crown from Escape Velocity Games, 2 to 4 player, with about 45, 60 minutes, ages 12 and up. And thank you so much again, Steve. Take care.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to the Mega Meeple. Again, please subscribe on iTunes and leave us a rating and 5 stars and all that kind of stuff. And if you'd like to support the podcast with hosting costs and stuff like that, you can go to our Patreon page and donate $1 or so. Every bit helps. Now, if you have any ideas of topics to be discussed or things to include in the show, please follow and reach out to me at any of our social media sites. The links can be found on the social media page on our website, themegameeple.com. And also, if you're a game designer or creator and would like to get the word out about your game or Kickstarter, you can contact me via the Contact Us page. Thank you so much, and until next week, this is Tom saying, game on.